Hello everyone, welcome to today's show. Right now in November 2025, Japanese companies are leaving the land that people used to call the world's factory. China. They are not leaving quietly. They are taking whole factories, machines, orders, and even complete production lines and moving them out with big noise. Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Suzuki altogether throw many billions of dollars into India. Panasonic, Yakult, Omron, one after another close their big factory doors in China. In November 2025, Japan's direct investment into China dropped 83% compared to last year, the biggest drop in history. This is not just a few companies. This is a huge wave of leaving. What they shut down is not only some factories. They tore apart the Chinese Communist Party's stories like foreign companies still believe in China and no one can replace the China market. On November 8, 2025, Suzuki, Honda, and Toyota together announced they will spend more than 11 billion US dollars in India in the next 5 years. Friends, $11 billion. This is almost the same as all the Japanese money that came to China in the past 3 years! If you like this topic, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the little bell and choose all, so you won't miss future videos. First, let's talk about the very famous Toyota car company. On November 5, 2025, Toyota President Mr. Sato Koji held a press conference in Tokyo and announced a decision that made the Chinese car world explode. In the next 5 years, Toyota will spend more than $3 billion in India, add 2 new production lines, and raise India's yearly car making ability from 400,000 cars to more than 1 million cars. Even stronger, Toyota clearly said India is now the most important market in the whole world for us. About China, they didn't say one word. Friends, this is not just moving money. This is giving. Toyota has 8 car factories and 12 parts factories in China. At the best time in 2021, they sold almost 2 million cars a year in China. But in 2024, because Chinese car companies kept cutting prices like crazy, Toyota sales dropped for 3 years in a row. In the first half of 2025, sales fell 28%. Sato told his top managers in privates, and a Japanese newspaper found out. China market changed from a place that makes us money to a place that only costs us money. Let's go to Hadu, Guangzhou Lina Ridge Town, Toyota Engine Factory No. 3 on October 31, 2025 at 5 p.m. 50-year-old worker Uncle Lee swiped his card and left work for the last time. He worked there 17 whole years, from normal worker to team leader. His hands have thick skin like tree bark from hard work. When people first heard the factory might close, no one believed it. Everyone thought, so many people love Toyota, how can business stop? But on October 28, headquarters in Japan sent one sentence, Factory No. 3 stops production on December 31. All machines will be taken apart and shipped to the new factory in Gujarat, India. The next day, the HR office put up a notice workers over 50 years old can choose one-time payment to leave. For 17 years work, payment is total 90,000 yuan, about 12,500. Uncle Lee calculated he still has 12 years of house loan left. He doesn't know what to do next. Honda is the same. On November 6, 2025, Honda Company announced their new electric car series Zero will be made in India and even sold back to Japan starting 2027. This is like putting a knife straight into the heart of Honda factories in China. The Honda factory in Guangzhou used to make Zalos or Accord cars every day. Now half the lines are stopped. Workers are told to take holiday until March next year. Nissan's Zhengzhou factory is even worse. At the end of 2024, Nissan sold 51 Zhou factory to Dongfeng for only $1, just threw it away. In May 2025, NIS President Mr. Kaida said very honestly at a money report meeting, China market is falling apart very fast. We have no choice. At Nissan Zhengzhou factory, Little John graduated from technical school in 2022. He studied machine control, got a job at Nissan. Salary 6 to 800 yuan a month plus free food and room. He was very happy. But after Nissan gave the factory away in late March 2025, the Japanese technical boss came and said, all machines will be taken apart before end of June and shipped to new factory in Mexico. On July 1, Little John dragged his suitcase out the factory gate and posted on WeChat. I thought I would work here until retirement, but in less than 3 years it's gone. The Suzuki car company is even more direct. They left China 2019, closed Chang'an Suzuki, and now put all their money on India. Maruti Suzuki already has more than 45% of the India car market. This is not just leaving, this is running away together. Japanese car companies that made tons of money in China before are now packing machines, engineers, and orders as fast as they can and moving to India, Vietnam, or Mexico. They still see 1.4 billion people in China, but they also see the Chinese Communist Party's games like state companies grow, private companies shrink, common rich, super strict spy laws, and the black hole where they can be called in for talks anytime, get big fines, or be forced to give away technology. Now let's look at electronics. On May 9, 2025, Panasonic said they will fire 10,000 people worldwide, 5,000 outside Japan, most of them in Suzhou, Hangzhou, and Wuxi factories in China. Two production lines already completely stopped. Workers were told, find your own new job. In Suzhou Industrial Park, in front of Panasonic China factory, there is a huge sign, factory building for sale or rent, swinging in the wind. Yakult drink story makes people even sadder. December 2024, they closed Guangzhou factory. October 2025, they closed Shanghai Guanghua factory. In just 10 months, two factories in China gone. Before, you could see Yakult ladies riding electric bikes delivering drinks everywhere. Now only boxes of expired drinks left in warehouses. Omron, Kyocera, Murata, TDK, all these big famous Japanese electronics companies are quietly moving their best production lines to Vietnam and research centers to India. In 2025, Japan investment to China dropped 83%, biggest drop ever. A secret report from Japan's Ministry of Economy leaked out. It had only one sentence. China is no longer a safe and predictable place to put money. In October 2025, Uniqlo closed 3 stores in Beijing and Jiaxing. From 2019, Greater China Area's mainland Plachke Pla Taiwan gave more than 20% of total money to fast retailing group, Uniqlo's mother company. It was the second biggest market after Japan and the biggest overseas market, except 2020 sales kept going up every year. But in Fast Retailing's 2025 money report, Greater China became the all-wide big market with negative growth. The whole group made 3.4 trillion yen, up 9.6%, new record for 4 years in a row, but Greater China went down. Uniqlo was famous for good price and good quality, but in China's crazy cheap price war, they lost normal business environment. In 1 year's 2025, Uniqlo closed net 24 stores in mainland China. Friends, some people say Japanese companies run because Chinese economy is bad and people buy cheaper things now. That is only the surface. The real reasons are 3-1. Danger from politics. After the anti-spy law, every Japanese manager is scared. Even when they travel to China, they have to report where their family lives. One Panasonic Japanese manager in China was taken away to help investigation for 48 hours. After that, the company flew him back to Japan the same day. He never came back. Rules keep changing. Today you must have Chinese partner, tomorrow give technology away, next day all your data must stay on government servers. Volkswagen and BMW accepted it. Japanese companies have proud bones. They said no. 3. Chinese companies use government help to fight dirty. BYD, KTL, Xiaomi get huge money from the whole country, control the whole supply chain, and use price war to smash Japanese companies. Japanese profit left only 2-3%. If they stay, they just wait to die. Also, China-Japan relationship got very bad lately. Chinese government told all media to attack Japan's new government every day. Japanese people got more and more angry and disappointed with China's crazy behavior. So Japanese companies chose the smartest way, run as fast as possible, run as completely as possible. A Japanese electronics worker in China named Mr. Jin told the media, all Japanese companies are checking their China plans right. China market is not attractive anymore. Japanese workers in China feel less and less safe. Even family members who have Chinese passports are going back to Japan one by one. When Toyota moves production lines to India, when Panasonic puts for sale signs on factory buildings, what they close is not just factories. They close tens of thousands of Chinese workers' jobs, hundreds of billions in local tax money, and the story the Communist Party loved to tell for 30 years. Foreign companies love China. In Chang'an Town, Dongguan, an old security guard Uncle Chen, 52 years old, lost his job when Panasonic factory closed. Before he earned more than 6,000 yuan a month, now he can't even find another security job. He stood in front of the empty factory smoking and told reporters, factory gone, what about old workers like us? Go back to hometown. Hometown has no land left anymore. This is the most cruel truth. When Japanese companies leave, they take away jobs, tax money, technology, and the last bit of trust in Chinese manufacturing. What stays in China? Empty factory buildings, unemployed workers, and heavier debt for local governments. Look from the sky above Suzhou Industrial Park. Rows and rows of Japanese factories that used to have bright lights all night are now completely dark, like silent graves. Friends, Japanese companies leaving is not 1 or 2 days thing. Business is for making money. They came long ago because China had cheap land, hard-working people, stable rules, and huge market. Now they leave because all these good things are disappearing one by one. At the same time, years of anti-Japan propaganda and bad policies pushed them out step by step. Remember how China attacked Japan super hard about Fukushima water? China made laws to ban all Japanese seafood and told all people to hate Japan. But the bad stuff, tritium, in Fukushima water is only about 10 of what China's own Qinshan nuclear plant puts in the sea. Remember 2024, Japanese school kids got stabbed in Suzhou and Shenzhen. All Japan cried for them. Japan Trade Organization said in January 2025 report Japan money to China dropped for third year in a row, now lowest since 2014. They are putting new factories in India and Southeast Asia instead. When the last Japanese factory gate closes in China, what closes is not just many years of China-Japan working together. It is the end of the proud Communist Party story. Foreign companies can never leave China. The truth always hurts the most when the factory gate finally closes. See you next time.